Big revolutions, they don't always kick off with some super complex white paper or a billion-dollar prototype. Sometimes, really, all it takes is a simple sketch in a notebook.
And this is the sketch we're going to dive into today. Now, I know it might look simple at first glance, but what you're seeing here is basically a blueprint. It's for an AI-powered system that's designed to completely change how our cities move, how they react, and ultimately how they keep us safe.
So to really get a handle on the grand vision here, we've got to start small. We need to look at the most important piece of hardware out there on the street. You could call them the eyes of the whole system.
Okay, so this is the G2 Public Safety Signal System. Yeah, at first glance, it just looks like a traffic light, right? But it is so much more than that. I want you to think of it more like a really intelligent, multifunctional data hub, just sitting right there on the street corner.
And if you look at the drawing, you can see just how packed with tech this thing is. We're talking a camera, LED lights, a protective roof, of course the standard red and green signals, an LED display, and it even has public power and charging buttons. This thing is a real workhorse for a modern street.
But here's the thing. Among all those components, there's one tiny, almost unnoticeable design detail that is the absolute key to making the entire AI system work. And believe me, this is what separates this whole concept from just sticking another camera on a pole.
And this really gets to the core idea, what they call the integrated design. What the drawing is showing us is the super strategic placement of the camera and its night vision LED lights. See how they're right next to each other, tucked together under one single protective roof. They're meant to work as one single cohesive unit.
So you gotta ask, right? Why is this specific placement so crucial? I mean, why go to the trouble of designing it exactly this way?
Well, here's why it matters so much. Think about a standard setup. A camera over here, a light over there. That camera could easily get blinded by glare from other streetlights, or maybe its view gets blocked by rain or snow. But with this integrated design, that little roof shields both the camera and its own dedicated light source from all that stuff. And what that means is the AI gets a clean, totally reliable stream of high-quality light and footage 24/7, rain or shine. No glare, no obstructions, just perfect data.
Okay, so you've got this pristine footage. How does that turn into intelligent, real-world action? Well, that's where we get to the AI brain of the whole operation.
The diagram actually labels the data stream as the road's live feed. And you have to understand, this is literally the lifeblood of the entire system. Without this constant, crystal-clear feed, the AI is, for all intents and purposes, completely blind.
And the process it kicks off is actually beautifully simple. So first, the G2 unit captures that live feed. Then, step 2, the AI gets to work analyzing the footage. It's smart enough to tell the difference between cars, cyclists, pedestrians, you name it, all to map out traffic flow and spot incidents in real time. And finally, the system acts. It enables what the blueprint calls real-time traffic control. It's just this seamless loop. Observe, analyze, react.
All right, now let's zoom out a bit. Because one smart signal is great, don't get me wrong, but the real magic, that happens when they all start talking to each other.
Yeah, like I said, one is helpful, but a whole network of them? That's revolutionary. This is exactly how you go from just one smart intersection to a truly intelligent citywide grid. And the blueprint has a name for this network, the MTSS Cluster. What is it? Well, it's basically a group of these G2 signal systems, all interconnected, all communicating and coordinating to manage traffic across a much larger area, like a whole district.
And you can see it right here in the drawing. All that light and footage data from the individual units, it all feeds into this larger MTSS cluster. And what that creates is this powerful, collective intelligence, a system that can finally see the bigger picture. So, what does this whole network actually achieve? This is the payoff, right here. The diagram points directly to AI-based congestion control. That means the cluster can coordinate signals all across the city to smooth out traffic flow, respond dynamically to things like accidents or rush hour, and even actively prevent traffic jams before they even have a chance to start. Pretty incredible.
So let's bring it all together. What does this all mean? Let's talk about why a simple hand-drawn blueprint like this actually matters for the future of our roads.
It's really a powerful story of scale when you think about it. We just saw how one clever, super simple design choice, just putting a camera and its light under a tiny roof, becomes the foundational building block for a fully autonomous traffic network, a network that can literally think and breathe right along with the city.
Let's take one last look at the whole system here. You can just see the elegant logic, can't you? It all flows so perfectly, from the signal's eye to the live feed and then up to the network's brain. Every single part is designed to work together to create something that is so much greater than the sum of its parts.
So this blueprint, it paints a really fascinating picture of a more efficient, safer future, for sure. But it also brings up a huge question, one that's posed right here. As our streets become smarter, how do we absolutely guarantee that they also remain fair and equitable for every single person? That's the real challenge ahead.